Okay, so let's start with our session today. So in last session we have done the group by and some important functions fill in. So today we're gonna discuss about how to slice and how to find the different data frame using dot where condition. Okay, so I have this data. So this data has age, section, city, gender, favorite color, and amount. Okay, now before that I will explain you the what is np dot where function. Okay, so let's say I have this variable a, which is the array of integers. Okay, so I have 4 5 6 7 1 2 3 something dummy data over here. Okay, now if I want to select only those data which are less than 5 value from this array. Okay, so what I can do is np, which is numpy. Okay, np dot where, and just pass the a is less than 5. Okay, so let's execute this one. Let's say 0 6 7 8 9. Okay, now what is this 0? This index. Okay, so this 0 index is 4, so 4 is less than 5. Okay, now 6 index 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, 0. Now 0 is also less than 5. 7th index, this is 1 is also less than 5. 8th index 2, it is also less than 5. 9th index is 3. Okay, so 3 is also less than 5. So basically np dot where returns the indexes. Okay, so index number where the number is less than 5 means this condition is satisfied. Okay, the place where this condition is satisfied. Now how to use this where condition in our data frame to find out the different condition based slicing. Okay, so before that, one more thing is there in np.where. So we have two parameter also. So first part is condition. Okay, so what condition you want to place. Second is x, and third is y. Okay, if you don't give x and y, then it will automatically give you the indexes from this array where this condition is satisfied. Now if you give x and y, means when this condition is true, then it will give you the value only. Okay, not index, value. Okay, so let me explain in board. So let's say so np dot where. So first part is condition, second part is x, third part is y. Okay, so when this condition is true, then whatever we have mentioned over here, it will give you. Okay, and if it is false, it doesn't satisfy this condition, then it will give you this y. Okay, now here what I mentioned, if the a is less than or equal to 5, then just give me a, else give me 0. Okay, so first element 4. Okay, so 4 is less than 5, yes, so I am saying give me a, so it's giving me a, not index. Okay, now second 5 is less than equal to, yes, so it give 5. Now third, it is less than equal to 5, no it is not, so it will go to here. Now it will give me whatever I have passed over here. Okay, now I have passed 0 over here. Okay, now again 0 0 0, because these are not the satisfied condition values. Okay, now these 1 2 3 are also less than 5, so it will give you this one. Okay, so the difference is just this condition satisfied, then whatever expression you have mentioned over here, it will give you that, else this part. Or if you don't give this part, then only true part will be given. Okay, and if you don't give this also, then this condition will give you only the indexes where the condition is true. Okay, it's that simple. Uh, now let me show you with this one. Okay. Okay. No, sorry. I meant to say that it needs to be give x and y also. Okay, so it's saying either both or neither x and y should be given. Okay, so we cannot give only x. Either both x y should be removed, or you have to pass the default value also. If and else part. Okay, so else part is 0. I have mentioned out. Okay, so if you don't pass this, then it will not allowed because there should be else part. There is only two part. First this part or either this part. Okay, so just remove this, then it will give you the index part only. Okay, so if you don't want to give, then give both. Okay, so it works in this way. Condition, first condition, second is true. If true, then what value I need to return? Okay, if false. Okay, so it's like this. Now let's implement this np.where in our data frame. Okay, so for example, I have this data frame and I have favorite color in this data frame. Okay, so some of the values are null over here, nan. Okay, now what we have learned in earlier class is that we can use dot isNA to find whether this column has a null value or not. Okay, so yeah, we can use that also, but let's say if I use isNA, that it will give you just true or false. Okay, so whether it has a null value or not. But let's say I need to find in which index or in which row it has null values. I want to see that column. Okay, so in that case we have to use dot where condition. So the where condition will be I need to fetch those rows in which the favorite color is null. Okay, so this is the condition. Okay, let's see here. So this is my data frame. So I have mentioned data and the column favorite color dot is null. Okay, so you can use is null or is NA both. The is null equal to true. Okay, why? Because if I execute this one separately, okay, so if I pass this separately, then it's saying that okay, first has false, okay, not null values, second has null value, see NaN. Okay, so in this case, so I need to fetch only those row which has null values, this true value. Okay, so that's why I have compared this with data favorite color is null equal to true. Okay, now I will pass this np dot where in this function. Okay, so np dot where, and I have passed this condition over here. Okay, now what it will give me? Now it will give me the indexes of our data frame where this favorite column has a null value, right? So first is the index and third is the index, okay, in which I have null value. Now what I can do is we have learned index location and location, right? So that's why I told you index location is important. So we have learned the dot, let me zoom in. Okay, so we have learned index location function, right? Dot index location. So what does this do is basically, let me revise you. So we pass indexes. Okay, we pass the indexes in the first part and comma column part. Okay, so it work on the index only. So what I can do is, so let me demonstrate for this. So first step, if I deep dive into this index location, so I can pass 1 comma 3, right? I can pass this, I have told you already, right? What this means? This means first and second column. So ilog has two part. First is row and second is column. 0 comma 2, like this. We have learned this, right? But right now we only want columns. Okay, rows, these rows, first and third rows. Okay, so see, these rows has null values. And how does we get this first and second? Using np.where. So np.where give you what? It will give you the indexes of the data frame where this condition is satisfied. Very simple. And we can place this index to our index location to find out the data frame. Okay, it's simple as that. Now when we combine these both method, okay, these two steps, now we can do in one step directly. So I will write data dot index location. Okay, now instead of writing this, I can pass directly np dot where, this whole line directly over my bracket. So what I have done here over here, data dot index location np dot where data favorite color is null true. Now first this expression will be executed and it will give you 1,3, right? Just like here, this full expression will be converted into this expression. Okay, now let's execute this. See, same value. Okay, so all the columns we can get with using this function. Okay, dot where, whatever condition it is satisfied. Okay, we can write anything over here. Okay, we can write false, true. Okay, we can write, let's say amount is greater than 500. Okay, we can write any condition. Okay, so let's say second condition, I need to find the data frame data where the amount is greater than equals to, only not equals to, only greater than 300. Okay, so we can do in simple in this way. So let's see, let's execute this one. See, it's giving me in first, second, third, and sixth index, we have the amount value is greater than 300. Okay, so we can directly copy and paste over here. So instead that we can use whole expression. So data dot index location np dot where data amount greater than 300. Now see, all the amounts are greater than 300. Just like SQL query. Okay, so I think everybody right now in this session has learned SQL query, right? So just like that, we use where condition in our SQL queries. It's 100% same as that. Okay, nothing new. It's working same as that, but we are working in Python. Okay, so we don't need to hit a SQL query for that from here. Okay, so instead we can use directly in Python. So we have data frame, we can filter out data with any condition. Okay, now let's say I need to find those data whose amount is greater than 300, first condition. Okay, and on top of that, I need only specific columns. Okay, so the rows is like, a row will be greater than 300, those amount, and the column will be 0, first column, and second, and city column or section. So means from 0 to 3 means 2, 0, 1, 2. I need first 3 column only. I don't need other columns. So for that, if I tell you to do that, what will you do? You will do like simply this. You will do just like this. Okay, so you will do, this is the condition. Okay, now you will just pass comma. If you are good in index location, then you should know we can pass over here just like 0 to 3. Okay, this is our expression. Okay, so this will give me the indexes np dot where, it will give the indexes from the data frame where the amount column has greater than 300 value, and this will give me column. Okay, from 0 to 3. So index location works on in this way. Okay, so row and column. But let's execute this one. So it's giving me error. Okay, yeah, too many indexer. Now why it's giving me error? Let's check it out. So let me tell you what this gives me is, this gives me the tuple. Okay, so we're passing basically directly tuple over here. Okay, that we cannot pass when we use rows and column both at the same time. Okay, that mistake we often do. Instead, we need to pass only this first one, first element, right? And comma is second element. So it's giving me whole tuple, which is like array within a tuple, but I need only this part. So for that, to fetch this part, I need to slice, like I need to pass only the 0 column, 0 index. Okay, so if I do this, now you can see it's giving me now proper array only, because here I need to pass only array. Now so that I need to pass comma, not comma, within that array 0. Now see, it's giving me 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, this one where the amount is greater than 300, and only those column name, age, section, city. Now you will ask me that while I was not using this, it's still working. Okay, yeah, it will work in this case because we are not passing anything in the column. When we pass with the column, then this should be within array only. Okay, if we don't pass this, then the index location is intelligent enough to identify that we are just fetching the rows only. Okay, but when we, the moment we type comma and pass some column, specific columns, then it will require a specific array only. Okay, that's the difference. Okay, so here I have done same thing. Just remember this part. Okay, so when you try to slice with column and rows. Okay, now this is clear, I think. So just condition, first condition, comma, and the column name. Okay, now if you remember, we have also done dot location part. Okay, so we have done this also, location and index location. And if you remember, then I have told you that index location works on only index and location works on specific index name. Okay, so here I have passed 0 to 3 index, but if I can, if let's say I have let's say 100 columns of data. Okay, and I don't know what particular index I have to that name of the column. Okay, I know the name of the column only, but I don't know the particular index. Okay, or I don't want to use range, or I need to fetch only those two columns. Okay, that the name I know. Okay, so the name I know. So what I can do, I use, instead of using index location, I can use location. So it's the same syntax. Okay, so data dot location, just the condition over here, np dot where data amount greater than 300, and again the index 0. Okay, and instead of passing just like index, we will pass that directly a column name. Okay, so here I have passed age column. Okay, so age comma, I can pass any column. I can pass amount, let's say amount. Okay, so it will give me all the amount and age greater than 300. Okay, so if I need to use index location, then I have to pass the index of this age column. Okay, so this age column is on first, so I need to pass 0 comma last index. Okay, so this is the difference. So whenever you need to directly pass the column, you need loc location, and if you can pass using index, so you can use index location. Okay, so let's say now this index location and location also used to update our data. Okay, so just like we update data in SQL database, right? So similarly we can update our data also using filtering. Okay, so how to update data? Let's say first, to update data, we need to fetch the data which we want to update. Okay, so let's say I need to update data where the age is greater than 14, and I need to update only those column, specific column. So let's say I need to from second to third, means second one. Okay, I need to update that data only. So let me print out data first again, and let's see. Okay, so this is my data. Now yeah, so now age is greater than 14. Okay, so age again 14 is this one, sixth, and let's print it out again. So I have, okay, now the age where is greater than or equal to 14. Okay, so 1, 3, and 6 index. 1, 3, and 6 index. These are the age greater than 14. Now, in these rows, I need to update second to third. Second to third means 0, 1, 2, okay, and 3 till 3. Okay, so I need to update basically city. Okay, so you can use this index, or you can just pass in a square bracket the index name number of this column. Okay, or you can use pass directly like this. You can use it's 0 1 2. Okay, you can pass directly 2, or you can use range also. Okay, so it's nothing else. Okay, so 2 to 3 means only 2, because we know it works on n-1. Okay, so let's slice this one first. Okay, now let me check what data it is giving me. Okay, so it's giving me these 3 cities. Okay, 136 136. For 136 only this city is giving. Okay, now I need to update all 3 cities to some other value. Okay, so we can pass directly equals to the value you want to pass. So let's say Nepal. I'm passing Nepal over here. So when I execute this line, now my data is updated. Okay, now let's check our data. Now see Nepal, Nepal, and Nepal. Right, so we can update in this way. So whatever condition you need to pass, you can pass over here. Okay, and what column, let's say I don't pass any column. Okay, then it will update in the whole data column. Okay, so in that case we need to pass. Okay, so what column you need to pass over there. Okay, so this is the updating. Now let's say I can update using location also. So dot location function. Okay, so here I have passed the index. Now here what I need to do, I will just pass the column name only. Okay, and also I don't need yeah, I don't need index basically. Okay, so I will pass np dot where this condition simple. Now second, just I will pass the name of the column. I not need to pass the index. It's only the difference. Okay, so let's execute this also. Now let's see our data. Now see the where the age is greater than 14. So first, so my gender is converted to T. Okay, so earlier it was something else. It was F. Okay, now it's gone to T. Okay, so it's pretty much simple, right? So just the condition and the column, just select it and pass the value. And this condition can be anything. You can pass any condition. You can add and or anything else. Okay, we'll see. Okay, now let's say I need to pass, I need to fetch those column. Okay, those column and rows from the data frame where the amount is maximum. So I have amount column, right? This is the amount column. Now here I have one max value. So the max value is basically 500 over it. Okay, so I need to fetch those column and rows from the data frame where the amount is max. Okay, so it means that this column, I mean row, okay, this row and this row last, we need to fetch this. Okay, so in that case we can use simple index location np dot where data amount, okay, equals to np dot max. Okay, this is the function of numpy. So np dot max, so if I execute this one, it will give me the maximum value. Okay, so maximum value 500. We can pass 500 directly over here also, but we will not do that because here we have small data, but in our real data there can be thousands of lines of data, right? So for thousand of time we cannot do manually, so we need to directly pass the function and it will do its work. Okay, so it will give me the data where the amount is maximum. Okay, now again let's say I need to find the data where the amount value is greater than equal to the average. Okay, so for average we can use this function. Okay, so this is the average. Now the average is, let's say my average is 361. So I need to find all the column which has all the rows which has 361 and greater than. Okay, so yes, this has greater than average value, this also has same. Okay, so all the data which has greater than average value. Okay, we can pass arithmetic function also, just like SQL. It's pretty much same, just the syntax you need to learn. Okay, Now I was talking about the multiple condition and same we can use and or anything else. Okay. Now index location, data dot index location. This is my first condition. Okay. You need to be careful about the bracket only. Okay. So you see this bracket is closing this bracket. Okay. So the first condition should be come within one bracket, and second condition should be come under the separate bracket. Okay. So you need to be careful about that. Now first condition is np dot where amount is greater than the mean, and second condition is those where the gender is female. Okay. So np dot where data gender equal to f. Now we can execute this. It may give me simply the amount is 500 and gender is f. Okay. So you can see over here, this was our old data in which we have only one condition, and from this I filter out the gender equals to f, so we can verify from here also. Okay. So it's pretty much simple, just you need to practice only. Okay. It look like complex and long condition, but it's nothing. Okay. If you break into slices, okay, bits and pieces, so this is one piece. Okay. One part of the condition. Okay. And this is the second part of the condition. Okay. So it's nothing new, you can use it simply. Now you can use using loc. Yeah, but in loc what you can use is this one in this and. Okay. So little bit is there difference between index location and location, you will be very much confusing like in the starting part, but just focus on, I will say that just focus on this part more, the index location. Okay. So the index location is pretty much important, I think so, because we can use any sort of condition, multiple condition, and it's not confusing also. So but you need to learn this location also, but prefer to practice this index location more than location. Okay. So because we often use index location many times. Okay. But not the loc. But for that syntax part you need to learn also. It was simple same. Okay. We can use data equal greater than equal to data amount dot mean. Okay. Or you can replace this with np dot where also. Okay. But be just be careful that this part here we have not used np dot where, but it works in location, but it will not work in index location. Why? Okay. So I think you can understand why, because in index location it works on index. Okay. So that's where the np dot where is we use, because np dot where give you index only. Okay. And it is used on index location. Okay. We cannot slice without index, and this location is work on the amount, the actual index name. Okay. So data dot amount will give you greater than, this will give you the actual index name also. Okay. So in that case here you need to use and, just like other C language and Java language. This and is of Python. Okay. So I prefer this syntax more than this. Okay. It look like long, but it is more simple than, means it will be like static in every condition. We not need to change many times. Okay. So I think it is pretty much clear. So np dot where is the first topic where we can make our any, we can put any condition and get our result. And when we combine np dot where with index location, then we can slice our condition based queries from our data frame. Okay. So I think it's clear. You can just need to practice. I will update this file in the drive. Okay. So my next topic I'm gonna start is Matplotlib. Okay. So for Matplotlib, I will explain you a few points. Okay. So in Matplotlib, we'll use for the visualization part. Okay. So let's say we need to draw a line chart, okay, or bar graph, or you can say scatter plot, or there are different graphs we need to plot. Okay. So in that case, we need to use Matplotlib. This is the library of Python. Okay. So for data science, we use Matplotlib, Seaborn, and Plotly. and Matplotlib and Seaborn is frequently used. So we'll start with Matplotlib. Okay, so for that you need to install using pip install Matplotlib. Okay, after that you can use the import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, so you can use any name, but plt is very oftenly used. So now let's say first example. So here I have two sample data x and y. Now I need to plot this xy into simple graph. Okay, so for x equals to 1 there is y value 2, for x equals to 2 there is value 3. Okay, so in that case we can use dot plot. Okay, so plt is our matplotlib library and dot plot is the function. Okay, dot plot is the function, and within this function we need to pass two things. First is x, second is y. Okay, so x and y. So whatever you need to pass the data is just two-way data. Okay, so x and y. Now you need to make a title. You need to mark a label like x label, y label. Okay, so in that case there is another function, title, x label and y label. So whatever title you want to give, you can pass over here plt.title, and whatever x label you want to pass, x-axis or y-axis or whatever name you want to give, okay, you can pass. It's not that you have to give, you can pass any name you want to give. Okay, so let's say you have a comparison of sales and amount and sales, anything. So you can pass amount over here or you can pass sales over here. Okay, anything. And this is the plt dot. So we need to draw this chart in our Jupyter notebook and we can download as a image, so we can showcase our results to clients. Okay, so let's execute this one. Now see, it's simple. It's giving me x-axis, y-axis. For 0, for 1 it's give me 2, for 2 here, and this one line 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so it's pretty much simple to plot a line chart. Now let's say I need to customize my chart using some grid or something, marker, different marker, different colors. Okay, so you can use again in plot. If you do shift tab, you can pass different values over here. Okay, dot plot, you see different things that you have, go, color, marker, style. Okay, you can see over here whatever parameter you can pass. So here currently I have passed color equals to green. Okay, marker equals to means this dot values. Okay, so I need to mark the exact point, and the style, the initial I need dashed. Okay, so I can, and this title x label y label is same. And if you want to make a graph as a grid, so plt.grid and pass the value true. Here we didn't pass anything such like this dot grid. Okay, so you can pass dot grid value and dot show, and it will give you this grid graph with your customized color and style. Okay, so to use yellow, we can use yellow. Okay, so whatever color you want, you can use. Okay, so this is the customized plot I have plotted. Now second is to draw multiple lines in a within a one row, one graph. Okay, so for example, let's say I have here x comma y is same data over here. Okay, x comma y, and label it as a prime number, and plot second x comma y to this and label it as a random number. Okay, so you can pass the label also. Okay, here we didn't pass anything. Okay, we didn't pass anything over here because we don't need in a single graph, right? Single line. Now we have done two times dot plot, dot plot. Okay, so x y, this is the first line, this is plot for the second line and the name of the line, and again same thing, title, x label, y label. This is static. Okay, you will just need to remember three things: title, label and y. That's nothing more. And we need legend also. Okay, so this prime number and number, this is the our legend. Okay, so we need to show legend also, and we need to show the graph at last. So plt dot shows the graph. Now let's execute this one. Now you can see in our first line the prime number. Okay, So it's giving me this line, and our second line, random number with different color we can get here, and we can see the legend here also, prime number, random number. Okay, so it's that much simple. You just need to pass the data only. You just need to remember this plot function, title, x label, y label. Okay. Now second is bar graph. Okay, bar chart basically. So for bar chart, you should have one category and one the value specific. Okay. So these two data can be represented in our bar chart. So for bar chart, we need to use this function symbol dot bar. Okay, so dot bar is simple function, and we need to pass what categories we have. So we have 4 categories, A, B, C, D, and what values we have. Okay, so we have value over here 4718. Okay, so values we have here. Now first is category, second is value. Okay, now third is what color, different color you want. So for first category I need red, second blue, green, orange, whatever you want. Okay, if you don't pass, then it will not give you a different color. Okay, so bar chart. Okay, so for title, x level, y level, same thing again, repeated, nothing new. Just this is the bar graph. So we need to use bar. Everything is same. It's simple. I will go real quick. Okay, so it's pretty much simple. So I need to cover Seaborn also today. So I will cover both Matplotlib and Seaborn. Okay, so we can do our in next session something in like dummy data properly. Okay, so next is scatter plot. Okay, so scatter plot is nothing, it's just the plot we can get you just like line chart. Okay, we have line chart, but every line is connected, but here the we have not connected with each line, it's just a scatter. Okay, within our data. Okay, we'll see what when do we use scatter plot. It has a real use in our machine learning chapters. Okay, because we need to see our data, we need to analyze our data, but this is I am covering the basics. Okay, so that we should know the basics of what line chart is, what is scatter plot is, what is bar graph. Okay, the real use we can see in the machine learning classes. Okay, so simple, just like dot plot, dot bar, dot scatter, just two things, x and y, what color you want, c equals to blue, color equals to blue, and alpha equals to 0.5. We'll explain this alpha later. Okay, so when you execute this one, you can use. Okay, it's pretty much simple. And second, histogram. We know what is histogram. In our childhood, we have already implemented in our mathematics class. So histogram is basically so distribution of our data. Okay, so we have data like 1 2 2 2 3 3 3 4 4 4 5 5 5 again 4 4. Okay, so from 1 to 2 I have this much data. So this graph, this bar graph represent this data. So for 4 to 5 I have this kind of data. Okay, so it's that, and this is my data. So pld.hist, I will give the data over here directly. And bin space, number of boxes, 1 2 3 4, whatever box. So you can give number of bins equal to 5 4 whatever. Color green, and this is ash color, nothing, black. So again this is also same, and this also same. Okay, so we can use this. Yeah, or you can replace with 5, bin equal to 5. So you can see 5 1 2 3 4 5 blocks will be over here. Okay, so it's like histogram, simple. Okay, now another is we can also draw different different graphs within a one plot. Okay, so let's say I have lots of data, and I need to plot within a one graph only. I don't need to graph plot in different um, condition, different parts, but I need to plot within one graph. So there is also a subplot concept. Okay, so pl.subplot. So whatever size you want, 2 cross 2. See here, 2 cross 2, 1 2 3 4, 2 cross 2. What is the figure size? 10 cross 10. Okay, so it's like 10 10. Okay, let's say I need 5 5. So we can use 5 5 also. Let's say, and for now 5. And this is the axis. So this is my axis, this is my figure. Okay, so for axis I should have pass 0 0. For 0 0 axis, this is my xy data, and this is my title. Okay, again for 0 1, I have bar graph, and I have title. So for third one, 10 index, this is our 10. This is I have scatter plot, and here I have last one histogram. Now let's execute this one. I have resize to 5 cross 5. So now it will show me in small part. See, small part. Okay. So that's it. The size you can figure it out, whatever size you want. 12 cross 12, 15 cross 15, is one larger. Okay. And you can just save it the image, and you can use this image anywhere. Okay, you can use it anywhere. Okay. Yeah, the last is 3D graph, and we don't need this one. Basically we don't use 3D graph to plot, but still I have mentioned the code over here for you guys, so you can so you should know it. This kind of graph is that exist. So it's a 3D graph. Okay, so for that we need to import special function. So access 3D, which is called. So again, numpy is for making the dummy data. So we have learned linear space between 5 to 5, 100 data. Similarly, xy, and this is the mesh grid. So mesh grid is basically a function which take to input the data, and it will convert into indexes. So xy, so that we can convert into the 3D graph. Okay, so we don't deep dive into what is mesh grid right now. So again, this is the some sign equation they have mentioned for the 3D for z, x comma y comma z. Okay, so we need to make a 3D graph. So for 3D graph we need x, y, and z. Okay, so and np dot sign, they have implement something like sign function when there is a this is the function of x and y. Okay, so np dot square root, so square root of x square plus y square. So z is the function of x and y. Okay, now I have passed over here. Plot surface is the function, and xyz. C map is basically color map, whatever color you want to pass. So viridis is some kind of color. Okay, in 3D graph, and again title and show. Okay, so you can see over here. This is our 3D graph, but I will say don't deep dive into this. We don't use often this time. Okay, so this is the Matplotlib. I think it's clear for everyone. Okay. I will give you just 5 minutes of break. Okay. So for after 5 minutes, we'll cover this Seaborn also. It's also a small topic, and we'll wrap up our session today. Okay. So let me pause the recording for 5 minutes. Okay. So we're gonna talk about the Seaborn library. So Seaborn library is also a visualization library which is used in Python. Okay, so for Seaborn, we need to pip install Seaborn. Okay, and then after we'll import Matplotlib and Seaborn both. Okay, so here in the Seaborn we have used name as a SNS. So in the Seaborn we have one function load dataset. So Seaborn has basically its default many dataset. Okay, so one of the dataset is tips. Okay, so yeah, so we can load using load dataset function. We can pass the name of the dataset. So tips. Now if I execute this, so this tips data frame is here, total bill, tip, and what is the sex of the what is the customer, or smoker, or day, night, time, or size, or whatever that I have. Okay, so let's say this is the data. Now we have scatter plot over here. Okay, so for scatter plot we need to use this SNS dot scatter plot, and we need to pass what data we are passing. So we are passing this data, whole data, this data frame. So data equals to tips, and what we need to pass in the x and y axis. Okay, so x equals to total bill, this column. Okay, and for y we need to pass tip. Okay, so we are basically checking total bill with tips. Okay, and hue equals to time. So hue equals to time means, so whatever time, so it differentiate between different time. Okay, so for we have two time, lunch time and dinner time. So for lunch time we can see what is the variation of x, that is bill and tips, and for lunch we can see the variation between tip and tip and total bill. Okay, so whether there is a the tips is more given in the lunch time or dinner time, something kind that kind of analysis we can do from here. Okay, so yeah, so now plt dot title, we know this, plt dot so we know this also. Okay, just we need sns dot scatter plot. Now if I execute this one, so you can see over here, let me okay, now you can see the time, lunch and dinner, and total bill and tips. So you see the blue one is lunch time, okay, and the dinner time is orange color. Okay, so you can see here differentiate between the lunch and dinner time. Okay, so and you can see in the tip is very high in the dinner. You see these orange dots. So you see increasing this. So something like this. Okay, we can visualize. And another is line plot. Okay, just like here we have scatter plot, data, x and y and u. Okay, so here we have line plot and same parameters. Okay, so data, whatever column you want to pass, whatever you want to pass in y-axis. In Matplotlib, that just like we have passed our dummy data x and y, similar kind of thing we are doing here also. And we can also do this thing in our Matplotlib also. Okay, we can also pass our data frame data in these graphs. Right now we have passed the dummy data, so we can pass in Matplotlib the column from the data frame also. We will do this in our real data set. We gonna work in machine learning algorithm. Okay, before that we are just checking out the examples. Okay, so similarly here we can pass this, and you see the sns.line plot, the grid. Okay, and lunch and time dinner. Okay, so different at time, different total bill and tips x and y. Okay, and similarly we have bar plot also. Okay, so bar plot also we can check, we can pass as data x and y. Okay, so so every function has the same kind of parameter. Okay, we just need to pass whatever we need to visualize. Okay, so day and total bill. Okay, so between days for Thursday, see for Thursday total bill is, for male we have total bill of approximately 18, something like that, and for female on Thursday we have total bill of approximately 16, you can say 16 or 17. Okay, so again in Friday you can see we have lots of total bill for male. Okay, so in that case we can visualize. Okay, so we can get some insights from our data. Okay, so from this data we cannot visualize, we cannot see what happening inside because we have 244 rows. Okay, similarly we can have 1000, 10,000, but here we can visualize that for the day wise what is the bill for different sex. Okay, so in that case this bar plot is very much useful. Now second is box plot. For now the concept of box plot is basically depends on the different quartile range that I don't want to explain you right now. So there is a concept of outliner in our machine learning concept. Okay, so for that we need to use box plot so that we can detect the outlier. For now I will say in very briefly. So outlier is something data which are beyond certain limits. Okay, so for example I have data of 5, 10, 20, 30, and let's say one data is 500. So 500 is beyond our certain limits because maximum our data is within a range of 5 to 20, but some data are out of range. So let's say 1000, because okay, so for from our normal pattern of data, some data which are beyond our specific certain range, so that are called outliers. Okay, so to detect that outliers we need box plot. Okay, so you see these dots over here, these are our outliers basically. Okay, so we'll explain this box plot. So this, you see this line. Okay, so this line, this box and this line, this represents something meaningful things. Okay, we'll discuss this. So this is called upper bound, this is called lower bound, this is called mean, and this is called outliers. Okay, but right now we're not gonna deep dive into that, but just the box plot, it will show you the different outlier and the upper bound, lower bound of a data. Okay, so day wise, you can see for total amount, what is the lower bound, what is the upper bound, and what is the outliers. Okay, so this is a box plot. Now again, there is violin plot. Okay, there are n number of plots. You can directly go in the Seaborn library site, official website, and see. You can check out there also. Okay, so whatever graphs or whatever plot you are liking in there. Okay, so whatever requirement you are having, or whatever whichever graphs you want, so you can just copy the code from here and just change the data. Okay, so it's not like we need to remember each and every graph. Okay, these are the graphs which are very frequently used. I am showing that only. Okay, but there are n number of different graphs, so you can directly go on the Seaborn library. Okay, just type the Seaborn site, official site, and Matplotlib official site. You can go there and check out many things. Okay, again here we have heat map. Okay, so heat map is also one of the concept we use in machine learning. Okay, so basically it will show the how sorry, relation between the two columns, two values. Okay, so right now I will not deep dive the concept. Okay, just check the code only part. So for the code part, I will explain you the heat map. Okay, so for heat map, just focus on the function name only right now. Okay, so heat map, just remember that we have heat map, we have Boolean plot, we have box plot. Okay, we have bar plot, we have line plot. Okay, so you can see over here year and month. Okay, so for each year we have different heat map. Okay, so I understand that it's not meaningful for you right now. Okay, you are not getting any insights from this. I totally understand that, but just right now try to understand this heat map. This heat map, this void, all this box plot will be explained later. Okay, so I'm just going a real quick right now. Okay, so that we not waste many time in this only. So again, there is pair plot. Okay, and pair plot is basically for each column. So let's say for total bill, I have graph with size. For total bill, I have graph with tips. So for total bill, I have graph with total bill also. Okay, so similarly for tip, I have graph with size, with tip, with total bill. So it's a pair plot. So each column, okay, with different plot. Okay, so you have mentioned u equal to sex. Okay, so means for different gender, we have different data inside distributed. Okay, so this is a pair plot. Okay, so we can see different graphs within one graphs only. Okay, and the second is facet grid. Okay, so facet grid, I think just don't focus on this part right now. Okay, so I think yeah, this is scatter plot. Yeah, so basically main things we have already covered, that is scatter plot. We can check the distribution of the different data. Line plot, okay, so between the x and y, simple. And bar plot, so it will give you the different categories of data between different values. Okay, similarly we have seen just like in bar graph, similarly bar plot also in Seaborn. Okay, so this is the basic like kickstart for the visualization part. So Matplotlib and Seaborn. Now next what we're gonna do is we'll implement this Matplotlib and Seaborn in our data. Like you have seen the tightening data. Maybe if you guys have not seen the data, I will show you the data in the next session. So we'll start with Titanic set data, and we try to implement all these index location, index slicing, data cleaning part, data slicing part. Okay, and this visualization part, everything in that data set. So till now, whatever we have done, we will try to implement all those things in Titan dataset. And one more dataset will work on that. I will give you that assignment to you guys. Okay, so you will work on that on yourself, and yeah, we'll discuss that also. And we'll work on two dataset different. One dataset I will work on with you, and second dataset you will work on yourself. Okay, and once you get hands-on practice, then we'll go to our machine learning classes. Okay, so yeah, so if you have any questions or doubts, you can ask me. And I think I am done with my today's session. Okay, so don't be confused about that. There is the things are not clear. It will be clear when we start on our a real data set, try to implement these things. Okay, so right now I'm just working on the dummy data set to explain you guys. Okay, so yeah, I will stop my recording.